Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Do something very different to what we usually do on here. We're very much heavily focused on Chelsea usually, but today I thought, well, the Euros 2024 draw is taking place. Might as well do a bit of a live reaction, watch along to it. You know, a lot of different people support a lot of different countries, and I was going to say clubs, obviously irrelevant though for the Euros. I know some people are obviously not from Europe, so I'm not sure if people from outside of Europe they don't care or not. I don't really know. But hey, the group stage draw is taking place today. It's very exciting for, I'm Austrian, obviously. You can see the shirt behind me. We don't qualify for many tournaments. We haven't been to a World Cup since 1998. Yes, we've been to the last two Euros, but it's still not a common thing for us. So I'm pretty hyped. I'm excited to see what the groups are going to be. And we're going to look through what are going to be the best groups, what are going to be the worst groups. Group of death, is there going to be one? There probably will. The pots are a bit mental. We'll look into those in just a second time. I am joined by Dharmz. First of all, Dharmz, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it very much. We were just talking off air. You're not necessarily the biggest international football fan, but like I touched on, especially as a country as big as England, you're obviously... why is this stream... Why does it stop, by the way? Anyway, because the ceremony is supposed to have started, but my stream just stopped. Being from England, you're never going to be buzzing about, oh, we qualified for a tournament, or like, okay, we topped our group. Like, you will never care about that. But hey, some English fans more than others, I guess. After the last Euros, you got to the final, but you lost the final. Winning something would be huge, right? Even if you're not that big into it, but winning something, a major trophy as England for the first time since 1996, you wish, 1966, would be great, wouldn't it? So going into the game, into the tournament as one of the favorites, I would probably say second favorite behind France. How are you feeling ahead of that? Obviously, it's a long time to go still, but the groups, do the groups mean much to you as an England fan? Or is it a bit like the qualifiers almost where you're like, well, no matter who we get, we expect to go through top? So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, big up Laurenz, big up the chat as well. Yeah, I mean, with international football, bro, it's just I always look out for, well, personally, I see any Chelsea players that are playing on international duty, to hope that they obviously perform well and hope they don't get injured as well.
Yeah,
that's my main sort of concern. Well, that's the only sort of time I care about qualifiers. But regards to groups and stuff, like you've seen that the type of groups that England have had, we've had like teams like Malta. Who else have we had? Like
not
San
in the
Marino.
tournament, to be fair. Malta don't make it to the tournament.
Yeah, as in like even now, just look at the pots and stuff. Like teams in pot 2, 3, and 4. I mean, like there's a couple of difficult games that we could get, especially considering Scotland, for example. Like on paper, they don't look like a great team, but England Scotland's always a massive game at any sort of international level, whether that's a friendly or a tournament level sort of game. But yeah, I think international football, bro, it's just like, even if I said to you off air, like even if England do win the Euros, like obviously it'll be a happy and proud moment for this country. But deep down, I won't care as much, say if Chelsea won the Premiership, for example, like that. So it's just one of them where it'll be nice, obviously, for the nation stuff to get together. Probably the whole nation will probably get drunk as well. Cause riots and havoc. I was gonna say cause riots and havoc. I mean, cause riots and havoc on the streets of London and stuff. But like we saw in the last Euros. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's not that sort of special meaning to it, because obviously with the last Euros, it was obviously in England. Obviously England made the finals as well. I think then you could tell the vibe around sort of England, especially London as well, was proper. And then as soon as sort of Italy won the game, you just saw how much hurt the fans were. And I feel like as well, fans of like say Championship clubs, League One, League Two, and even sort of National League and semi-pro level fans, I think they care more about sort of the England national team than say us Premiership fans do, because
I think it probably also depends
like
where you're from in England. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that's true.
People from London, because London is so, excuse me, multicultural. People are from so many countries, right? Originally. And then you obviously have Liverpool, where no one cares about England. But I feel like outside of London and Liverpool, I think people are quite into it. Hey, to be honest, it could be a blessing for you guys that the final is not in the UK, because, well, then at least, well, people could still lose their shit after, say, like a big, I don't know, a bloody Box Park or wherever they're going to show games, right? Could still lose the plot there and kick off, but maybe a little bit less extreme than
what England always kicks off here, man. Even the littlest thing will kick off, man, regardless.
It will. It will. By the way, the ceremony has started. They're currently playing some. I forget his name. Anyway, some sort of Donny is playing his violin, and some sort of orchestra is playing, and someone is singing in the opera. I don't really know what's going on, being perfectly honest. But hey, the typical UEFA drama that they try to pull out. But we have plenty of things to discuss before the draw actually starts. Well, so I hope. If it takes half an hour until it starts, who knows? But I've got excuse me, can't bloody speak today. I've got the pots up on screen, and they are weird. Like, they are very weird. For example, like, I know Italy didn't make it to the last World Cup, but they are reigning European champions. I can't understand how Italy can possibly be in pot 4. And like, I don't really understand how that's a thing. Also, Switzerland have been to every tournament in the last 20 years. How can they be in pot 4? I don't get it, mate. Slovakia or Slovenia, whichever one of the two it is. I think Slovenia, Oblak is from. He plays his first international tournament. How can he be in pot 3 then? Unless they kind of changed it to make it more interesting or something. But I just find the whole thing very strange. But let's look through it, right? Pot 1, Germany, Portugal, France, Spain, Belgium, England. Kind of the expected teams in pot 1, would you say? Obviously, Belgium, since Hazard stopped, obviously with De Bruyne, is a bit of his fitness situation is never quite clear. But obviously with Doku having Lukaku, but their defense, I think maybe Denmark over Belgium in pot 1 could be acceptable.
I think the rankings maybe have a part to play in this. So I'm not 100% sure. I think it's
partly the rankings, but it's also partly the qualifiers. Because Austria came second, we came second in our group behind Belgium. Had we topped the group, we would have been in pot 1 as well. So, I don't really fully understand. But at the same time, like Romania, for example, Romania topped the group with Switzerland. But they topped that group, and they're still in pot 2 and not pot 1. So who the flip knows what even happened. But, I mean, I said my opinion a second ago already. For me, France, then England are probably the 2 biggest favorites. Would you put it that way as well? And who could be, I don't know, your 3rd or 4th shout, potentially?
Yeah, do you know what? I said to you before, bro, like off air and stuff, like with these international tournaments, it's unpredictable of the kinds of teams that you come up against. Because we've seen it every tournament. There's always a surprise package. We saw how well, who was it? Who was it the last one? Morocco. How well Morocco did. Nobody expected Morocco in the World Cup to do how they did.
Denmark made the semi-finals at the last Euros, didn't they?
Exactly, and then there's no doubt. I think probably this year there'll be another team like that. It could be Austria, bro. Who knows? Who knows for yourself? But I say apart from France and England, I'd probably say probably Portugal on paper, and I guess the host as well, Germany. You can't really rule out the host. I mean, that does play I think it does play a part in having it in your own country where the whole country's behind you and stuff. You obviously got home advantage in that way as well. I think that plays a massive part. We saw how it helped Brazil up until they got absolutely annihilated by Germany. But
it's a catch-22 a little bit, isn't it? Because on the one hand, obviously it's home advantage. You've got the people backing you, but the pressure is also exponentially bigger being at home.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think that's what kind of Brazil kind of fell victim to in that 2014 World Cup that you're talking about. And I don't think England lost their last Euros final because the final was at Wembley, was in England. But I still think that the pressure for the players is probably bigger when you're at home. It's a tough one with Germany, right? Because my God, if they've been awful. Obviously, with Hansi Flick, they've been poor, and then they sacked him. They got Nagelsmann in. They were okay in the first international break with him. And now the second one, obviously they're only playing friendlies because they're also qualified as the host. But they lost to Turkey. They now then lost to Austria. And we're decent, but we're not realistically challenging for the bloody Euros. They always used to say that Germany are a tournament team. I'm not sure if that was the expression always used in England, but in German, then translated, that's what they always used to say about the Germans. But then you look at the last few, didn't really look like that, did it? Last Euros, England obviously beat them. Müller missing that huge sitter that could have changed the whole entire game. The last 2 World Cups, if I'm not mistaken, I think they both went out in the group stages, which is kind of insane. But like you say, the home advantage could still be a big advantage. But yeah, I probably agree Portugal is up there too. See, for the last few years, I've always been one of these people that say, I don't understand why so many others rate Portugal that highly. Because I always felt they're just Ronaldo. They have so many other good players, but if Ronaldo doesn't turn up, they don't know what to do. But I feel like that's becoming less and less of a thing. Obviously, Ronaldo still plays for Portugal. He still scores a lot of goals for Portugal. But I feel like the rest have kind of caught up a little bit now in terms of being a part of it. The only thing they also have Ruben Dias now, not just Pepe as, a top defender. They've got João Cancelo. Their midfield is obviously outrageous. You've got Rafa Leao. You've got Gonzalo Ramos, who nowadays plays at PSG. You've got Diogo Jota. Like, they have Bernardo Silva. Like, they have a really, really strong team. I still don't think they'll go all the way, but I do think they have a really strong team and are probably going to make the semi-finals. But obviously, a lot of it depends on how the draw kind of pans out in the quarterfinals and semi-final stages. Like, if Portugal only meet, say, France or England in the final, well, then they could very much make the final. But if they meet, especially France, in my opinion, before that, they could meet them in the quarterfinals. If they meet them in the quarterfinals, I think it's less likely that Portugal make it through. But yeah, France, England, of course, you have the Southgate tax, but still France and England. And Portugal, yeah, are probably the three favourites, I would say. Let's get to pot 2, mate. Who do you see as the strongest team there? And you don't have to say Austria because I'm here. Say what you truly think.
Yeah, looking at those teams, bro, I'd probably say Denmark, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Just because of that sort of that team spirit and some of the players that they got coming through. I mean, obviously they've got Rasmus Højlund now up front as well, haven't they? And I don't think he featured last tournament, did he? So they've obviously got him to add to a team that I have. Well, I wouldn't sleep on Hungary.
If anything, the position where they've lacked the most, right? The rest of their team has always been good, but striker is kind of where they've not really had the standout goal scorer very often, have they?
We saw Hungary as well. They beat England in I think, was it the Nations League? I believe it was. They knocked them out. They got.
They were also decent at the last Euros. They weren't in the group with France and Germany and Portugal. Wasn't that the group with death at the?
I think they were. Yeah.
Or
I think it was them. Yeah.
Euros must have been Euros, but that was a bit insane as well. They got a few surprising results in that too. Turkey as well. Obviously, they have failed to make a lot of big tournaments as of late, like especially World Cups, even though they're a huge country with good footballers. But at the last Euros, they kind of failed. Everyone was hyping them up a little bit as this potential underdog. And then they got spanked, 3-0 in the first game by Italy. Then they got spanked by Wales. And I think they got spanked by Switzerland as well. So that didn't really go well for them. But yeah, I'd probably agree. I'd say Denmark, then maybe slightly biased. But then I'd probably put us second. Maybe like joint with like Romania. I mean, it's very similar. I don't really understand how Albania made pot 2, for being perfectly honest. I can't remember them ever being in the tournament, maybe like many years ago, but I don't understand how they're in pot 2, but sure. I would say you have Denmark, and then you have like Austria, Hungary, Turkey, Romania, probably all on a similar level, and then like maybe another level below that, Albania, I would say. But yeah, moving on to pot 3, it's another mental one. What on earth are Netherlands and Croatia doing in pot 3? What the flip? Croatia weird, at the last, God knows how many World Cups, semi-finals every year. Netherlands, I know they failed to qualify for a few, but boy, their squad is so good. I never understand how they're this bad. Like since what was the last World Cup they were good in?
2014, I think they did.
I think it was, yeah. I think
2010, obviously they made the final, didn't they? 2010,
exactly. In 2014, I think they made the small final. Well, they made the semis and then lost.
Yeah, the Van Gaal, I think Germany. That was.
No, not Germany. Who did against Argentina? Yeah, Argentina beat them in the semis, didn't they?
Yeah.
To be fair, the last World Cup, obviously a year ago, pretty much. I think they made the quarters, losing to Argentina on penalties. Then,
yes, it was. Yeah, it was quarters. Yeah.
So there you go. That makes me think again. Why are they in pot 3? I just don't really understand.
But you know what? Like, just look at the pots generally. Though it's like, it's a few surprises in there because not all the good teams are like sort of together. It's kind of spread out, which I prefer in a way where there's more chance of, say, a heavyweight knocking out a heavyweight away. So like England could be drawn with Italy, then also with, say, for example, Netherlands and Denmark, and either
that'll be a mental group.
Qualify. So yeah,
that's what you're gonna get though, isn't it? Like you're gonna get one or two absolute mental groups, but then you're also gonna get a couple of really shit ones. Like you're gonna get like, I don't know, Belgium, Albania, Slovenia, and some sort of team from the playoffs. And that's like it has its pros and its cons because hey, every time when we watch the tournament and there's a dead group, it's like in the Champions League. There's one dead group, no one cares about any of the teams, and then you're like, who cares about that one? But yeah, pot 3, would you agree? True, Netherlands and Croatia clearly the standout ones.
Yeah, Netherlands and Croatia, but I guess from like sort of England fans' perspective, I think sort of wary on Scotland in a way, especially if say if we come up against them, if we draw them in the group. I think that'll be a very tough game. I think more mentally more than anything, to be honest with you.
There you go. I mean, yeah, Jaziu in the chat said, by the way, Albania won their group. That's why they're pot 2. Fair enough, I guess, but we didn't win our group and we're still in pot 2. So where is the logic? Like, is it coefficient points? Is it, like, I don't know. It seems also
it's got to be.
I'm
I
sure
think it's got to be coefficient
up,
points or rankings. Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah. You'd think so, but then how are Croatia third? Like in pot 3, sorry. Like coefficient-wise, with their results at World Cups and Euros, how can they be low down? I don't really understand. But yeah, in pot 3, clearly Netherlands, Croatia. The other ones are very difficult to split, really. Scotland, Slovenia, Slovakia, Czechia. I don't know. I'd probably say Scotland are the best of those. I don't really know. It's difficult. Maybe it's obviously a bit of Premier League bias because I guess we know a lot of the Scottish players the best because a lot of them do play in the Prem, while a few less of these other 3 countries do. But yeah, going into pot 4, Italy, Serbia, Switzerland, already 3 difficult teams to be drawn against from a pot 4. Like you'd expect lesser teams from the last pot, wouldn't you? But then we also have the playoffs. I bring up a different slide now as to who could fill those playoff spots, because I do find it very odd how we're making the draw for the tournament before it's clear who all the teams that have qualified. I find that strange, but hey, fair enough. It is what it is. There's going to be 3 more teams that qualify. Path A is between Poland, Estonia, Wales, and Finland. Poland and Estonia playing in a semi-final, Wales and Finland, and then the winner of each of those playing each other for one of the spots. Israel, Iceland, Bosnia, and Ukraine. That's going to be an interesting one as well. And then you've got Georgia, Luxembourg, Greece, and Kazakhstan. The one thing I must say, I'm not sure how caught up you are with geography, Dharmz, or how caught up with geography people are watching, but how on earth are Kazakhstan part of the Euros? Like, that just makes no sense. Can I just bring up
as well? Yeah.
I'll bring up a map now, right? Let's just quickly look at where on earth bloody Kazakhstan is. Like, how can anyone tell me it's in bloody Euro? I'll bring this up now, right?
I swear it's not in Europe. It can't be.
It's nowhere near Europe. Look at where it is. It fucking borders Mongolia and China. What do you mean it's in Europe? It's
I was going to say, I was like, what? I don't know.
No, it's utterly insane. It's
unless they're to fill a team
reasons
that, so.
Why they're part of Euros is like Israel. They're obviously not in Europe either, but the reason they play as part of the European Association is because of geopolitical issues. I think they just shouldn't be allowed to play anywhere, but it's a whole separate issue. But yeah, I don't understand why Kazakhstan are part of this, but hey, they are, I suppose. Ural River is the official border of Europe, and they have a small chunk of Europe. Do they? Does the Ural River go through Kazakhstan, does it? Because I know the Ural River. I'm aware of that.
I just thought they
does. Look at this. That's where it goes through. This is officially the border. So I guess this part of Kazakhstan is kind of semi-officially Europe. Fair enough. Fair dues, mate. Still don't think they should have anything to do with Europe, mind you. But hey, I guess, that's your explanation for why Georgia, but that would apply. And why is not Saudi Arabia then? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the Ural River. Here's Saudi Arabia. Why not they playing with us then? No? Like, you know what I mean? It seems all a bit like Iran. They have parts west of the Ural River. But anyway, let's not get too much into that. Let's bring up the slide for potential playoff candidates or spots back up. Who do you reckon does get each of these spots, mate? Out of Poland, Estonia, Wales, and Finland, let's start with that one. It's kind of between Poland and Wales, I would say. But Wales without Gareth Bale is obviously a whole different ballgame. So I would expect it to be Poland. But what about you?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's definitely between those two. I'll probably just edge Wales, possibly.
You reckon?
Yeah, I'll probably just edge Wales over Poland, I think. But there's honestly not much in it, in my opinion, anyway. With them, I think I wouldn't be surprised if either of them qualify. To be honest with you, or even like Estonia or Finland, fair play if either of them qualify. But yeah, between Poland and Wales, but it would be very tight, I think, between them two.
I agree. I agree. It will be quite tight. I think. Recently, obviously, Wales have also done very well, but Poland are usually at every World Cup and Euros. Like they're a big country with some good players. Obviously, mainly Lewandowski.
Is Lewandowski still? Is he retired from international?
No, he hasn't. He still plays.
Oh, he hasn't. Okay. That's why he changed my mind a little bit then, I think.
Yeah, there you go. Especially Wales having lost Bale on the other hand. I mean, Jazio says Wales will go through. By the way, guys, first of all, if you're watching this, first of all, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and put in the chat either where you're from or who you support in the Euros. And when I do ask questions like who do you expect to go through in this Path A, please put your answers in the chat as well, like Jazio has with Wales. Path B, mate, tricky one. Obviously, Iceland had that 2016 glory, but since then, everything's kind of fallen apart, right? Ever since good old Gylfi was sent to prison, I think it's kind of all, fallen to pieces. Israel, well, I bloody hope they don't make it. And Bosnia and Ukraine, well, for Mudrik's sake, I hope it's Ukraine. I don't really know who's the strongest there necessarily. Out of these three teams, I think Ukraine was the only one that was at the last Euros. So going by that, and they were really unlucky, by the way, not to qualify because they played against Italy in the last group game. And Mudryk was clearly fouled very late in the game. And that would have given Ukraine a penalty. Had they scored it, they would have already been qualified, while Italy would have been in this Path B here, which would have been insane, by the way. But yeah, so I would say Ukraine will make that one. What about you, mate?
Yeah, I probably have to agree as well with Ukraine. I think they're the strongest out of the three teams on show there. Yeah. They've got Mudryk, they've got Zinchenko. Those are the two sort of big names for Ukraine, aren't they? And obviously see now how good Zinchenko is for Arsenal at the moment. And how good Mudryk can be for Ukraine and for us as well. And yeah, they were really unlucky actually. As you said, Mudryk should have got a penalty. Who knows if they would have converted it? But yeah, probably see Ukraine out of those four teams. Yeah.
Exactly. And then Path C, Georgia, Luxembourg, mate. Aside from Kazakhstan being clearly not in Europe, I would also argue that for Georgia, Azerbaijan, Armenia, all these countries. But anyway, I have no idea how good Georgia are. The only player of theirs I know is Kvaratskhelia from obviously Napoli, Quaradona. Luxembourg, mate. Didn't even know they had a football team, if I'm being perfectly honest. No, I'm joking. But I'm surprised they made it this far. So fair play to them. There's kind of just a bunch of rich people. It's kind of like a mini, even richer Switzerland, really. So it's a bit odd. But anyway, Greece, obviously 2004 Euros winners. Surely you'd expect Greece to go through, but I'll be perfectly honest. My knowledge on all four of those teams is very limited. Nowadays, how many Greek players are about in any good clubs? Like, I can't think of one.
Tsimikas is the only one I know.
Okay, but is there another one other than Tsimikas? You used to have Socrates, obviously, playing at Arsenal and Dortmund, but I don't know where he's at nowadays. So, no, doesn't look the best. So, but I would still guess Greece. But again, this is more of a guess and maybe an educated guess than having any real knowledge. Would you go with Greece as well, bro? Or?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Greece team now, actually. I don't recognize any of them. Tsimikas is probably the only one that I know. And Mavropanos as well, I think.
True, he rings a bell.
Yeah,
where does he play?
Mavropanos used to play for Arsenal, I believe. Centre back.
Does he play for Arsenal still, or did they sell or loan him or something?
I think they sold him. Yeah, I think they sold him.
Might have done. They might well have done. But there you go. There you go. But yeah, so you say Wales, I'll say Poland, Ukraine, and Greece. Those three could or potentially will fill the last three spots. Let's get back the main pot screen, whatever. You kind of touched on it already earlier. What would be I don't know, the most difficult is kind of difficult to word because it depends on who you are, how difficult you find other teams, I guess. But the group with the most quality, would you agree with France, Denmark? I don't know. It's tough between Netherlands and Croatia, really, isn't it? I think based on recent successes, you'd probably have to go Croatia, but obviously they don't even have a real striker anymore. Modric is bloody 50 nearly. Sure, you've got Kovacic. I'd probably say Netherlands, but I think that every time that surely Croatia have to stop being as good now. But I'm still going to say Netherlands. And then Italy, you'd probably still have to go. Would be the toughest group. Would you agree with that, mate? Or what would you say?
Yeah, totally agree with that. It could be, as you said, the toughest group on paper would be France, Denmark, even Netherlands or Croatia. Probably just edge Croatia based on previous tournaments, but there's not much in it between them two, I think. And then obviously you've got Italy as well. So that would be the group of death, shall I say, from any of those pot ones perspective. I mean, they'll be wanting to avoid those three teams for sure.
There you go. Oh yeah, Jazzy, I'm not sure if you've ever been in chat before. If you have, I do apologize. But my guy's got all the knowledge. They've also got Mamadashvili. Very true. The Valencia goalkeeper. We were even slightly linked with him in the summer. I'm not sure if that was more one that fans made up rather than an actual link, but sure. So thank you for that input. What about the easiest or worst in quotation mark group? I'll let you go first. What would be the worst four that you could pick out of these pots?
Oh, do you know what? It's tough between like Spain and Belgium. That's just sort of the worst on paper.
Yeah, it's true.
I'd probably say Belgium.
Yeah,
probably Belgium, Albania, Slovenia, and then.
Honestly, bro, I have no idea if Slovenia, Slovakia, or Czechia are better between these. I have no idea. Yeah,
and then pot four could be. Honestly, but it might be Kazakhstan. Who knows?
It might be. I mean, I guess Kazakhstan is like rather unlikely to qualify, but so let's say it is the ones that we said. Which was
Ukraine.
You in the end changed your mind. So I guess Poland, Ukraine, and Greece.
Greece probably then. Greece, Slovenia, Albania, and Belgium. That would probably be the worst on paper. I think.
I probably ever so slightly agree. Yeah, it's between Greece and Ukraine. Again, it's another difficult one to say, who's better, who's worse between those two. It's a tough one. By the way, if people aren't potentially watching at the same time, this is why I've got an AirPod in, by the way. I've got the thing up on my phone currently without sound, but when things actually start, I will turn the sound on so I actually know what's happening. The 14th of July, a day before my birthday, is going to be the final. So, Austria, if you could please make me a lovely birthday present, that would be nice. But yeah, I guess before this all kicks off, and it will in a second, I hope most of you watching are Chelsea fans. I assume so. Shall we quickly touch on this mental Nicholas Jackson, Astrid Wet situation? I almost don't really want to give her the clout, but at the same time, like she's got so much clout already, it doesn't really matter at this point. A bit of a mental thing has happened. A clip has surfaced of seemingly Nicholas Jackson being on the phone to Astrid Wet. I assume most of you know who Astrid Wet is. And he's it was more her putting it into his mouth, and that was the words like, "You need motivation." Like, yeah, I need motivation. It was very strange. People have lost their plot in all sorts of directions. They've lost the plot in the sense of Jackson, what is he doing? Disgrace. Astrid Wet is such a ridiculous figure. Why are you even entertaining this? There was also thoughts, didn't Jackson have a kid like the other day? Turns out that was his brother, and Jackson is actually single. So that makes the whole thing a lot less dramatic, in my opinion. But also, I don't want to be too defensive of her and stuff, but the way I clocked this from this clip, it seems like they were live streaming. So I'm like, I'm not even, unless she called him, which I doubt, I can't even really have too much of a go. It's like, it's not like she exploited it, because if she was live while he called her, well, you were live. If they filmed it and uploaded it, it's a different story. But if it was during a live stream, I just think this is a whole typical, usually is a typical international break scenario for Chelsea. But we managed to do it also outside of an international break. But yeah, in the end, just no one did anything illegal. No one did anything too outrageous. I mean, please, if you or anyone in the chat have different thoughts on this, I don't like her. I don't like the way she does things, but especially, obviously, the stuff of Holocaust site where she, did certain things. But I still think the whole thing was slightly, blown out of proportion, both from a Jackson's POV and from her POV. What's your thoughts on the whole thing? Do you think, despite being on the live stream, they should have just cut the live stream, or she shouldn't have picked up the call or whatever? Because the thing is that the people complain about, and rightfully so, is, well, she's a Chelsea fan, and she's kind of like dragging Chelsea and a Chelsea player through the mud with this a little bit, and that's the part that people have an issue with, and rightly so as well. I'm just thinking, I've sort of blamed Jackson more than her, because I thought he would know better to stay clear of her, basically, and sort of do it in a more discreet way. Because obviously, I'm not going to judge someone for doing that kind of thing, but if you are, then be discreet about it. Like, that she's a public figure, especially in our fan base. And like, she's all over Twitter and stuff like that. But if you're going to go about it discreetly, or don't go for it at all, because there's that high risk that she will expose you like that. And she's basically
thrown him under the bus in some sort of way. That's the way I see it personally. Is that she's basically dragged him through the mud, as you said, and I think he should know better not to sort of interact with her in a different way, I'd say. But at the same time, if it was, say, through messaging or text, then she would have exposed that anyway, I think. So I just think it's more Jackson's fault for not being wary of her, really, and not really thinking things through, to be honest with you. That's kind of the way I see it. Obviously, she's wrong for doing what she did by putting it out online and everything, and putting even more pressure on Jackson and sort of giving him a bit of a scare. But yeah, I'd probably say I blame Jackson more for not doing better or thinking better in a way.
There you go. Enough about this. We had to quickly mention it, but the draw is literally getting underway right now. The only problem is this live stream by UEFA.com has more pixels than, well, I don't know a good analogy really, but it has a lot of flipping pixels. So currently, obviously, Germany as the host, they are automatically drawn as, into Group A, as, top seed of Group A. And now they're drawing the other top teams, the other teams from Pot A, into their respective groups. I think Spain has now been drawn into Group B. Obviously, none of this means much right now. It only gets interesting once we get to Pot 2. But, I mean, yeah. A quick question, Dharmz. Obviously, the last Euros was this mental Euros that was spread all over Europe, right? Obviously, the two semi-finals and finals, and the final was held at Wembley, but the rest was spread all over the continent. And when I say continent, even to kind of Asia, because some games are obviously played in Baku in Azerbaijan. First of all, in hindsight, how did you like that? But also, do you think it changes anything for teams and, well, the whole spectacle that it's in one country?
I kind of see two sides to it, because say you're a tourist, for example, like I'm, for example, looking at the next World Cup, which is, I believe, in South America or North America, I think it is, isn't it?
North America.
North America. And to sort of plan ahead in terms of wanting to go to those kind of games will be quite difficult, because it's obviously more than one country. So it's like, if you want to go to more than one game for the World Cup, for example, then you have to think about going to a different country after that, because it's obviously held there. So I think from that perspective, it's quite frustrating, but at the same time, it's a great opportunity for those kind of countries to sort of host an international game, to be honest with you, one that really counts. So I guess there's two sides to it. Like, from a fan perspective, it'd be quite frustrating, but at the same time exciting that you're going to these different countries. But obviously that'll come with cost as well. That'll cost a lot as well to watch these international games in different countries. But it'd be quite frustrating as well, having to travel. Like, for example, like for the next World Cup, like, is it which countries is it? Is it Argentina?
Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay.
Yeah, I mean, to get, say, if you want to go watch England, say, if they're playing in Uruguay,
but only one game is held in each of those countries. So only the opening game for each of those three countries will be there. I just find it a whole weird thing, because obviously it's Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. That I'm okay with. I'm happy with. I also like that they're trying to get this inclusivity between Africa and Europe, like putting it together. I like that. But why they had, I mean, I understand it's because it's the 100-year anniversary of the first World Cup then. But if that's your reasoning, just do the whole World Cup in South America. Just do it in Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay as the 100th anniversary, and do the one after that in Morocco, Spain, and Portugal. Would be much more logical than having 6 host nations, 3 of those only hosting one game each, or the teams having to fly between countries, because you can't even pre-plan that, because only once the groups are out will you know where you're going to play. Like, it's a whole weird thing. But going back to how the Euros are done, I was obviously, Switzerland and Austria hosted combined 2008 Euros when I was a lot younger, but that was great for me because I lived here. But in 2016, obviously, it was held in France, and that was, for me, the greatest tournament ever. But because I traveled to multiple of the games, I watched Austria against Iceland in Paris. I watched Northern Ireland against Wales in another stadium in Paris. I watched England-Iceland, the infamous England-Iceland game. I actually was at that game by chance. I just happened to get games for that round of 16 game, and it happened to be England-Iceland. And
that's the thing. Like, if you want to watch those kind of games, like if you're in Paris, for example, then you can watch more like 4 or 5 games. Like I know for the Qatar World Cup, one of my uni mates is from Qatar. Like he studied here for a little bit, and he got to watch like pretty much. He got to see England, France. He went to so many games because all the stadiums were like literally within like kilometers within each other and miles. So it's easy to do that in a way where you can watch more than one game in say one sort of country or one sort of state, because it's just easier, like practicality wise, it's just easier, and you're getting more sort of worth for your money as well to watch those games. Like you can watch maybe 4 or 5 games for probably about 30 to 40 quid probably. Like it wouldn't even cost you more than that, to be honest with you.
Exactly. And you don't have to fly between countries. Fans aren't flying all over, like even when you're thinking about like all the emissions and everything else. But we are actually into the thick of things now with the draw of group of pot 2 taking place. And again, the quality here is dreadful, but you can see it here on screen. Unfortunately, I have to scroll up and down, but here you can see the groups and it should get added as we go. So Hungary is the first team that has been added into the group with Germany, which I guess interesting. I think the last Euros they were in a group together as well. For Germany, there's not the worst team to get from Group B for sure. It's a bit sad for us Austrians because I would have liked to play against Germany. I will be honest, because we kind of got the better of them these days. Obviously, they could batter us because it's a tournament and they're at home. But hey, it is what it is. And now Albania have been drawn into Group B with Spain. So also Spain, probably getting the luckiest one of these lot here. Interestingly, this screen on here is quicker than the live stream I'm watching on my phone. So fair enough. But there you go. Let's see which team will be drawn next and which group that could be. It could be Austria. It could be Austria any minute now. Let's see. Denmark. All right, let's see who Denmark will be drawn against. Now, if they go with England, that'll be tough. That will certainly be the toughest of pod 2. I'll tell you in just a second. Or it will pop up on the screen. We'll see. I hate how I'll have to scroll. Surely, how can't I have all groups in one screen? That's stupid. But anyway. It is England. It is England. Right. All right, okay. Tough. I mean, obviously, the top 2 of every group go through, and if I'm not mistaken, maybe even a few of the third placed ones, which I do, since they've made that the thing, I think since 2016, they've increased the number of teams that play in the Euros. If you can go through when you come third, it's a bit ridiculous. Oh my God, Austria has been drawn. Who could we be drawn against? Could be France, could be Portugal, could be Belgium. Obviously, Belgium was in our qualifiers group, so that would be a bit dead. But Portugal and France are really difficult. So we've been screwed here. Why couldn't we have gotten Spain or Germany? They're much easier. Flip's sake, who are we going to get?
Hopefully it's Group E for you, bro. I'm hoping.
We've got France. Fuck's sake. Well, now we really need to hope for a fairly easy pot 3 and pot 4, because otherwise we are screwed. We are absolutely mudded. Oh my days. Why? Flipping France. I mean, mate, we're going to pocket Mbappe. You'll see.
You never know.
Mate, Mbappe got nothing on us, I tell you. Who is the next one drawn? I think Romania has now been drawn out of the pot, and they could either get... they have got Belgium.
Okay.
I mean, purely for the flags, I hate it, because it's basically the same flag, just black and dark.
Yeah, literally is. Yeah, one's blue, one's black. That's it.
Do you know what I mean? Come on, be a bit creative. But yeah, there you go. They have been drawn with Belgium, and that means which team is left? Turkey are drawn with Portugal. So we are done with pot 1 and 2. To be honest, I mean... the whole ceremony started 40 minutes ago, but the actual picking of the teams, that's gone quite quickly so far, so I don't mind it too much. But obviously, before we go into pot 3, they will then introduce all the teams in pot 3. So we'll have another couple of minutes to wait. But yeah, as you can confirm now, Turkey with Portugal. So far, Denmark, England, Austria, France, probably the 2 best groups as such. Would you agree? Maybe Turkey, Portugal, I suppose.
Yeah, I'd probably say England, Denmark. Definitely a tough draw for England, that one, I think. It's probably the worst possible team we could have got in that pot. I'd probably say Turkey, from a Portugal and France perspective, I think they'll be happy so far with who they've got. How are you feeling, bro?
Well, honestly, I think it was unlikely that we beat any of these teams to top spot. I mean, both you and me agreed before this started that Belgium was probably the worst of the pot 1 teams, and they were in the group with us and they beat us. Now, obviously, when we played them at home, we had all of our best players injured. Alaba was injured, and Arnautovic was injured. Our other striker was injured. We had all of our best players were missing. I think otherwise we could have beaten Belgium. So I think if we were drawn with them, we could have at least gotten a draw out of that game, maybe even a win and topped the group. With France, I think that is very unlikely. So it's certainly not been lucky as such. We've certainly not been lucky. But let's wait and see how it goes, I suppose.
I think France, Portugal, and Belgium will probably be happy with who they've got at the moment. I think England. Yeah, I don't think England will be too happy with Denmark.
To be honest, I don't think France really cares who they get in the group because they expect to beat anyone.
True. Yeah, very true.
There you go. But we're going to get into the draw for pot 3 now. Now it gets spicy, especially for a country like myself, because having been drawn against France, these other 2 teams that are still yet to come, we really do have to beat those. So there's no 2 questions about it. Who is the first one being drawn? Who? Scotland has been drawn first. Let's see.
Oh, can you imagine if they get England again? Oh my God.
Oh, that would be crazy, yeah.
Yeah, that will be.
Group A, they have been drawn with Germany and Hungary. Germany still, they're still buzzing.
Yeah,
honestly, it feels a bit rigged. Can't lie. Flipping Germans. Who have you paid off this time? Bloody Hungary and Germany, mate. What is this? Ridiculous.
Oh, there's still Netherlands and Croatia still to go, right?
Exactly. So they could screw us. That's what I'm saying. Don't give me Croatia or Netherlands, man. We're gonna get knocked out of the group stages again. No. Don't do it to me, please.
You never know, bro. Our faith.
Oh, Croatia has been drawn now. Let's see who they get.
Okay, let's see.
All right, send them to England, please. Don't send them to us. Oh my days!
It's actually peak if it's Group C, man.
It actually is
tough group if it's Group C.
Oh, it's true. Fine. Okay, not us. So I'm buzzing with Spain, Croatia, and Albania.
I mean, Croatia Spain always get Croatia.
Has spiciness to it, I guess, from the Balkan areas.
But
Spain and Croatia, they faced each other a lot recently.
That's what I'm saying. I swear they play each other like every single. It's like City playing Leipzig in the Champions League like every season.
That's facts. It's big facts.
It's Spain play Croatia like every tournament. I swear.
Yeah, literally. Okay, Slovenia. I'll take those. Obviously difficult to score against. Because,
Group C. Okay.
England got Slovenia.
Easy.
Lucky buggers. I mean, they've got Oblak, so I guess difficult to score against. But I just don't want Netherlands now. Please, for the love of God, don't give me Netherlands.
Ooh.
Slovakia, Czechia, I don't care. I don't mind. But not Netherlands, please. Otherwise, we're going to be the fucking group of death, and I can't be hacking that at all, mate. Especially because it's in Germany, right? Like, it's close to me. Like, I'm going to try to go to some Austria games for sure. So, okay, it is Netherlands and has been drawn. Don't be Group D. I dare you. Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me.
It's tense, isn't it? This.
It is. Fuck's sake.
Oh my God.
Absolutely been fucked out of this, mate. Oh my days. We are absolutely fucked.
Bro, I can't lie.
Yeah.
Make sure you book a short visit, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
Nah, this is unbelievable. I can't believe that. Why would you do this to us?
I'm upset for you, man. I can't lie. That's
Thank you.
Worst possible group you could have asked for.
We'll make it to pot 2, and who do we get from pot 3? Fucking Netherlands. Probably get Italy from pot 3, won't we? Bloody Slovakia. Belgium with Slovakia and Romania. Do you know what I mean? If we didn't have all these injuries in our home game against Belgium, because we drew away at Belgium. So if we had our players fit at home, we might have beat them, would have been in pot 1, and we would have sat here with Slovakia and Romania. But no, fucking France and Netherlands. I'm fuming. I'm fuming.
Listen, bro, I think the only thing you can hope for now is just you get one of those.
The drawn teams,
you know what?
Yeah. The playoff teams.
Even Serbia, Switzerland will be a bit.
Mate, so tough. Also, for my household, because my girlfriend is Swiss, so I do not want Switzerland in my group. I can't lie, because that will not go well.
You can't, man.
No worries. Remember Coleman's axe. Hey, I hope it's right, and I'll be buzzing my tits off, right? But they made it to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. We haven't even been at a World Cup since the 90s, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? Oh, my days.
Oh, check.
Now we're going to get to pot 4. This is terrible.
No, I feel for you, bro. I can't lie. It's a bit, yeah.
Mate, this is terrible. This is terrible. Right. they are now introducing the teams from pot 4. I guess I can quickly scroll down to them here because you can see them. So these are the ones that are left, the 3 guaranteed ones in Italy, Serbia, and Switzerland, plus the 3 teams that will come through the playoffs. Again, we touched on those. In our opinion, most likely Poland, Ukraine, and Greece. It could also be Wales, I suppose, instead of Poland. We'll have to wait and see about that one. I mean, there is Finland. There are, like with Timo Pukki, and there's Estonia and Georgia and whatever else. I mean, like we all touched about Israel. Would be interesting if Israel make it, how that goes at games at the Euros and stuff in terms of the reaction of the public. But yeah, there you go. They're still introducing them. Why is this all of a sudden started? Has this been playing for a while or just a second?
Literally just now. I was like, wait, what's this?
Don't copyright me, UEFA. You made this start. I wasn't supposed to be playing this. You did this, right? If you're copyrighting me, I'm gonna sue you. And not for the draw. Well, actually, not for this.
The draw. I was going to say for the draw.
Group that you've given Austria is what I'm going to sue you for. Oh my days. Okay, we are into it now. The first team that's getting drawn. I'm fully expecting Italy to drawn against us now. Okay, Switzerland. Don't give me Switzerland purely for the safety of my household. Oh, please. Who are they getting? Switzerland are A4. Switzerland got Germany. Interesting. Interesting. Good for me, because I can back my girlfriend's country against Germany and hope they win. So that's fun. But yeah, Germany. I mean, Switzerland is definitely the toughest other team, in my opinion, that they got from here. Not the most difficult group they could have had, for sure. I mean, maybe it's not rigged because they didn't get one of the playoff teams, but it certainly could have been different.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that.
Oh, my days. Okay, Italy has been drawn. Don't give me Group D, mate.
Do not. D, bro.
But at the same time, imagine we still go through even though we have these 3 teams.
Imagine if it's England's group. Oh, my days. That'll be...
Okay, no. Italy have been drawn with Spain, Croatia, and Albania. That's a huge group as well. Spain, Croatia, and Italy. Poor Albania. I feel for them. Poor bro, yeah. You know I mean?
That's the group of death, isn't it? I think that one, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess these 2, I suppose, depending on who else we get, I suppose.
Who's left? Just Serbia now, right? And then
Serbia, and then the playoff ones, yeah. So I take Serbia. I reckon we got them. We got them on toast. Do you know what I mean? Arnautovic against his origins. I will smoke him. We will smoke Netherlands as well. Just you wait. This is how it goes. Like a minute ago, I was depressed.
What, France, man? Come on, man. Go all the way, man. France.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right. Serbia are with England, Denmark, and Slovenia, mate.
Interesting.
You'll take it as well. Not obviously Denmark is difficult and Serbia isn't easy, but you'd still fully expect England to go through, right?
Yeah.
So, and now obviously it's a bit up in the air. Okay, player of the pathway A, which to remind you of is between Poland, Estonia, Wales, and Finland. So let's see who they will be drawn against. Could be us.
So who's left? D, E, and F.
We got them. We got them. So not the easiest again, because it's probably going to be Poland. So we could have sadly had it easier. But yeah, I guess you'll have to deal with it. Lewandowski is getting smoked. We're just smoking everyone. All right, player. By the way, I'm not sure if you've noticed so far. Every draw, the Portugal group has just gotten the last team. They've never been drawn before. So let's see if it happens again now. Again, why is this UEFA stream the most pixelated thing of all time? I've got great Wi-Fi. There's no need for this to be the case.
Where is the draw even happening? Oh, okay.
In Hamburg.
Oh, Hamburg. Okay.
With the tournament being in Germany. But playoff winner from Path B has been drawn with Belgium, Slovakia, and Romania. That is the winner between Israel, Iceland, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Ukraine. So, in our opinion, most likely Ukraine. So, again, not the worst one for them lot, but we'll take it. And that obviously remains the winner of Georgia, Luxembourg, Greece, and Kazakhstan for the Portugal, Turkey, and Czechia group. Tricky group for us. Fairly tricky group for England. Could have certainly gone worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is unfortunately where you see Euros are great and everything. But when you compare the groups of a World Cup to a groups of the Euros, you obviously get a few fairly worse countries in there. except Austria. We got fucking Netherlands from pot 3. I'm still fuming about that. How has that happened to us, man? Oh, but there you go. Yeah. How do you feel about the groups? Let's quickly talk about it. Group A, who do you expect to go through?
Yeah, I'll probably say Germany for sure should go through. And do you know what? Scotland, Hungary, or Switzerland? I don't. I say Switzerland just go through. I think.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I have to say Switzerland, otherwise I'm getting kicked out of my own house. But no, I agree. Germany and Switzerland, I'd probably go for. Is most likely to go through. I will check Twitter in a second if there will be like a little image with all the groups out where I don't have to then scroll anymore. I hope that will be a thing soon. Once that is a thing, I will get it up on screen. For now, Group B. Who do you expect to go through? That's a tough one. It's a tough one. Well, again, don't forget. There are going to be some third place teams which go through, which could also be Austria Savior. By the way, I think that the top. Obviously, there's 6 groups. The 4 best third place teams, I think, will go through because there is a round of 16, right? If you do 6 times 2, that's 12. So you need 4 more teams, meaning the 4 best third place teams will still go through. So I guess that's a positive for us. But for that, we need to make sure we can't get battered by France like 5-0. Do you know what I mean? Because then we're going to be screwed on goal difference. But let's only say always the first 2. Well, if we're trying to speculate who's going to be the best third places, then we're going too far, right? So purely from who do you reckon will be the top 2 in that Group B, mate?
It's hard. I'd probably go. It's hard. Italy and.
You reckon Italy will top it?
Yeah, I think Italy will top the group, and
right.
I think it will be followed by Spain.
I would have just.
But honestly, it's tough. Like any of this, we can top it, finish second, or come third. To be honest with you, it's tough. I don't know.
Completely agree. Obviously, it will depend on injuries. It will depend on form. A lot of that will depend. But if I had to say now, I'd probably just flip what you said. I'd probably say Spain top, Italy second, and probably Croatia third. But again, Croatia have surprised us many, many times. So I'm absolutely not putting it past them to, again, come second or top of that group. Let's get to Group C then. Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England. It's weird that the team from pot 1 isn't also in the first row.
Yeah.
But anyway, who do you reckon? Why don't you go first again? England, obviously, and Denmark. Is it that simple, or do you reckon Serbia maybe could upset Denmark?
Yeah, I'll probably say England and Denmark, and then Serbia third and Slovenia fourth.
I would probably agree, mate. I would probably agree, keeping it simple, keeping it smooth. Group D, I will let you speak without any influence of me first, because what I say might be different to what you're going to say. So what do you reckon?
Austria top and Poland second. Nah.
Mate, if you want like an honorary citizenship or something, just give us a call. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, for real, I think.
Are you a dual citizen already, or are you only citizen of the UK?
Only citizen of the UK, that's it.
Fair dues.
Yeah.
But honestly, France and who? Do you give us a chance of coming second, or will it have to be?
Bro, honestly, for your sake, I hope so. Like, I genuinely hope Austria qualify, whether that's first or second, but sadly not, bro. Will be. Oh wait, is it top 3 that qualify?
No, only the 4 best third teams also go through. So there's 6 groups.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and some of the third place teams will go through as well, because obviously there's 24 teams, but 16 of them need to make the round of 16. So they need to fill it.
Oh yeah, that's how Portugal qualified, didn't they, in
2016? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
they was in the group with us, by the way. We was in the group back then. It was Portugal, Austria, Hungary, and Iceland. And we came fourth.
Yeah.
Iceland topped the group. Hungary came second, and Portugal came third.
They won the Euros, so yeah. Sadly, bro, France and Netherlands are definitely taking top 2. France, Netherlands. I'll say Austria third, and then you guys will make the playoffs after you qualify.
There you go. Okay. I'm going to back us. I'm going to say we're going to come second. I'm not sure
Fair
how
enough.
fully I believe that, but I've got to back it.
You have to, man. Your country, man. You have to, yeah.
Exactly. All right, finish it off. Group E and then Group F. Let me go first on this one. I'll say these Romania and Slovakia are so difficult to really predict. what was pathway B again? Ukraine. I wouldn't even be surprised if Ukraine are in with a shout. Like I say, they were really unlucky to not pass Italy and be directly qualified, mind you. So I'm going to put it out there and say Belgium and Ukraine finish top 2. What about you? I don't even know if it will be Ukraine there, but I'm going to say that anyway.
Yeah. If Ukraine do qualify, I'll say Belgium and Ukraine top 2. But honestly, you never know. I mean, I think we can both agree, and I'm sure everyone else in the chat can agree as well, that Belgium will probably top that group. It's just second place is it's a bit of a boring group, isn't it? Unless you're obviously a fan of one of those countries, and but it's a bit of a dead group.
It is a bit of a dead group, I can't lie. But hey, there you go. Group F then. I mean, I'm very sure Portugal will top the group. I would say, again, they were the dark horses of the last Euros and kind of flopped, but they had a much more difficult group that time. Then again, who knows how good Greece are if they make it through. Maybe it's Kazakhstan. Maybe they've got some, I don't know, Asian, even though it's the Euros, so there's some Asian matrix up there that somehow stump everyone. Who knows? But I'd probably say Portugal and Turkey. Nowadays, who's good from Czechia? Obviously, they've got Souček at West Ham. They've got Kufal or Sufal, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, at West Ham, the right back as well. But otherwise, they've got Schick, if you remember him, the striker. He played at Leverkusen.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where he is now. I don't think he's at Leverkusen anymore. But you'd still say Portugal and Turkey, or would you go different?
Yeah, Portugal and Turkey for me, though. I think those two will definitely qualify. I'm pretty certain of it.
There you go. There you go. Let me load up Twitter again if they have posted a full conclusive thing yet. They have. All right. Let me switch screens just quickly then. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching. There's not that many of you here. It's just what it is. It's a Chelsea channel. We're talking about something completely different. But the ones of you that are here, put your your thoughts, if you have anything quick to round up, into the chat. But yeah, there you see it all in one go. Now that the draw has happened, you're looking forward to it, mate? Looking forward to the Euros? Do you give England a chance? I'll ask you one last question here before we round this one out in a couple of minutes. I'm asking you to pick a winner now. Who are you picking as a winner? Are you just going to back England? Are you going to go with France because it's the most likely option? What would you go for, mate?
On your first question about the Euros, I think I'll be more hyped for it. I think, once obviously the season ends, depending how Chelsea do at the end of the season, I might be actually excited for the Euros, or maybe looking forward to the Euros, depending on how the season goes. But I think it's more of a, I'll be hyped for it. I think once the group stages end, I think, or once we sort of play Denmark, I think. And I think if I had to pick a straight up winner, like I've said from the beginning, I think France will win it. I mean, we saw even in the World Cup, like at times they weren't the best and they still made the final. Like even though they went down that sort of half time to Argentina the way they did, they still almost came back and won it. So that's not even them at the best. So imagine what they can do with the squad as well. They've got
if Kane scores his penalty against France, I wouldn't be surprised if you beat them in that semi.
Yeah. No, that's true as well. But I'd definitely say France have got the best squad. Best squad. Maybe the best manager as well. I know he's got a lot of criticism, but
I don't know about that.
But on paper, maybe. But yeah, I'd probably say France for sure.
I reckon manager, you'd have to say Germany probably have the best manager with Nagelsmann. Really. Just because, I mean, obviously Deschamps has won the World Cup. I get that. But I think France should have won a lot more on the rim than they have. If that makes sense. Like, they just have by far the best team in the world, really. So
when did he take over France?
Mate, ages ago. I can't remember if he did Euro 2016 or World Cup 2018 already or not. I couldn't tell you, if I'm being honest. No, World Cup 2018, he definitely did because they won that, didn't they? So I'm not sure if he did the Euros already because they obviously lost the final, right? They lost the final to Portugal that time at home because that was in France, in Paris, that final.
Then as well.
Yeah, I'd probably say Nagelsmann is the best manager. I don't even know who the Portugal manager is. Is it still the same guy?
It's the same guy, yeah. I don't know his name, but it's definitely that guy, the one with the white hair.
Mate, he was already old 8 years ago.
Actually, yeah.
Fair play to him, I guess. But even 8 years ago, it was more Ronaldo being the manager than that guy. So who knows, really? Maybe Ronaldo's the best manager. Hey, maybe give us some backing. Ralf Rangnick is the Austria manager.
Yes.
That sound that was behind stage. No, I didn't. Sorry, I had that sound off, Geordie. Please tell me what happened. By the way, I do rate it. There's recently there've been a few Geordie fans in the chat here that have seemingly been very friendly. So big up to you, God. But yeah, tell me what sound you had, please, mate. But yeah, if you put money on anyone and you weren't like particularly, you just wanted a safe bet, you'd have to put money on France.
Yeah.
If I'd ask you who would be an underdog potential winner, so I don't really think you can say like England or even Portugal. I don't think you would class them as an underdog. So if there was an underdog in there anywhere that could surprise everyone and win it, who would you pick then, mate?
I'll probably say Italy.
But are they underdogs as the reigning champions?
I guess they kind of are, because a lot of people writing them off, especially I think with the group that they have now. I think on paper, people would probably say Spain and Croatia qualify in that group, possibly. But I still class Italy as underdogs because, yeah, I mean, they were quite fortunate to make this stage at the moment. Then obviously not having to play the playoffs, then the World Cup obviously didn't qualify as well. So I think a lot of people writing off Italy, but I think they'd probably be. Oh wow! No way.
I assume it's the video that always does the rounds, where it's like you hear something and then it's like it kicks off super loud. That's hilarious. I'm sure that meme will do the rounds. Cheers for that, George.
Yeah, I'll probably say Italy. I wouldn't be surprised if Netherlands go far either. I mean, like I don't know if they're classed as underdog picks, but realistically, I don't see like Switzerland, Hungary, Denmark, or even Czech. Sorry, Laurenz, Austria. Like I don't see any of those teams sort of.
Why not?
Going ahead to win it, I probably class Netherlands and Italy just based on the pots as well as those kind of underdogs.
Yeah,
to potentially.
I think if a team from pot 3 wins it, that's definitely an underdog. Sorry, the only one I agree with you. People are definitely underestimating Italy. Obviously, they failed to make the World Cup a year ago. They only just about, and with luck, in that game against Ukraine, we touched on it, qualified or directly at least qualified for these Euros. So from that perspective, I guess they're underdogs, but again, they're reigning champions. I'm not classing reigning champions as underdogs. But yeah, it's a tricky one. Like you say, the tough part is what I think you could class Germany as an underdog with how poor they've been. So I would say if you'll let me have Germany as an underdog, I'd probably pick them as the underdog that's most likely to. Just because, I mean, we have Austria, somehow we maybe have a chance to make it like a little bit further. Maybe Switzerland could make like the quarters or whatever as well. Maybe Turkey too. But to win it, I don't know. I don't think so.
I think the three that are clear are England, France, and Portugal. I think those are, on paper, probably the 3 best teams in there.
So if they don't meet each other in the quarters already, you'd expect those 3 to be in the semis, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, and then obviously it depends on who plays who and which one is the 4th team. I guess maybe the underdog debate should be who's going to be the 4th team in the semis. But again, it's all about the draw or not the draw like they usually like they stat like the days have like a pathway for everyone. So like whoever comes first in Group A plays against whoever comes third in Group C or whatever, and then like the winner of that makes a quarterfinal and stuff. So there will be a pathway, and as we get closer to the time, I'm sure we'll do some content like picking our winners and then showing how that pathway ends up being the case. But yeah, there you go, Dharmz. Thank you very, very much for joining me for this utterly dreadful draw. Nah, I'm joking. It's like, on the one hand, it's like it's annoying. On the other hand, it's like I don't mind having like a fun group, a big group where it's like, because what's also shit is if we were drawn as group pot 2 now, and then we got like 2 easy teams, but then we bottled it. Even if we don't qualify now, no one's going to be angry if we lost to bloody Netherlands and France. So, hey, there's positives to take from every perspective. But ladies and gentlemen, if you are new here, and I'm sure some of you are, please subscribe. That would be massively appreciated. Hit that like button on your way out. Place your vote in the poll, by the way. I did put a poll out. Never even mentioned it. But I did put a poll out who you think is the most likely winner. Most of you picked England. I assume that's because most of you are English. But also 17% of you picked other. I wonder who that other may be, because I put France, England, and Portugal there, and others. So I wonder who you think could be that. Maybe the Germans, who you never know. Oh, I like it. I'm going for Ukraine, as the surprise 1992 Denmark-style winner, just for the vibes. Mate, if Ukraine win the Euros, that would be unbelievable, by the way. Mudryk, need to sell him immediately and never be that expensive again. No. Let's
Oh,
not do
can you
that.
imagine?
But although I think, Jazz, you're slightly doing Denmark a little bit of a disservice here, saying that they were as much of an underdog back in 1992 as Ukraine are now. Like, they had the Laudrup brothers. They had some decent. They had Schmeichel in goal. Like, they had some decent players, right? Don't be too harsh on good old Denmark, I guess. But hey, I like it. England, or Geordie's saying England going unbeaten. It's coming home. Well, you also went unbeaten in the last Euros, but you lost on penalties, so you still lost. So unbeaten is not enough, mate. Hey, see, it's a tough one. Quickly, I know I already almost did the outro, but I just want to say this quickly. It's a weird one as a Chelsea fan that obviously supports an English club, but not being English. On the one hand, I kind of want the English Chelsea players to do well, but the English Chelsea players don't tend to start. I mean, Reece James is the fitness issue. He might start if he's fully fit and stuff. Usually, when Chile and Shaw are fit, Shaw gets picked. Our centre-backs usually get looked over anyway, whether it's former centre-backs like Tomori that's been gone or whatever, that I could back or whatever. And Sterling might not even make the squad at the Euros, the way things
Reece James might not even make the squad as well, actually.
I mean, he will make the squad if he's fit, but...
Do you think? I think even if he's fit, I don't think he makes it, man. I think Southgate's just... I think he prefers Trent, Walker, even Ben White probably over Reece, to be honest with you. I don't think he fancies Reece that much. I mean, obviously, we want Reece James to go, but...
3 right-backs. He did the same for the last year.
As well.
He had 3 right-backs and then just played Trippier left-back, didn't he? So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, does Pope get a chance? Who would be your England goalie, by the way?
I still stick with Pickford.
Yeah.
He's trusted in goal. He hasn't put a foot wrong for England.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change that at all. Nick Pope's a great keeper for Newcastle. I mean, like,
he's just not quite good enough with the ball.
I just don't think. I think international football, you need that experience in there, and Pickford gives you that. To be fair, like,
I mean,
even though for Everton he's garbage, but for England,
I mean, Southgate could have given Pope that experience. He could have played him every game since the last tournament, but he didn't. So that's why he now doesn't have the experience. So. Yeah, and if Ramsdale remained first choice at Arsenal, I think you could really have made a shout for Ramsdale over Pickford. But because Ramsdale's lost his spot now, I don't think Pope will get it for playing out from the back. You'll have to stick with Pickford. Again, he hasn't really done bad enough, has he? Ukraine will be carried by Girona duo Dovbyk and Tsigankov. I mean, could be. I wouldn't hate it, but judging by the fact that they have to go through the playoffs, they can't exactly be that great. Like, that's the only thing I'm saying. Obviously, tournament football is a whole different ballgame, but they can't be that great. I don't really understand this one. This didn't really work out for you. I assume that was an emoji that didn't turn out as such, but fair dues. But yeah, all I wanted to say is because of Southgate is such an annoying manager for English people, but also for non-English people. Southgate makes me not want England to do well. And also English fans on social media during that Euros 2020, officially 2020, taking place in 2021. English fans online were, I couldn't handle them. I was fully back in Italy. Obviously, my surname is Italian. I have a little bit of Italian heritage and stuff. But nah, the English just annoyed me in that tournament. I can't even lie. Back in 2018, I was all for England. Right? I was like full on, England win the World Cup. Let's go get it. I was full on supporting, but now they just annoyed me a little bit after that. But yeah, there you go. We round this one out. Thank you, Dharmz, for coming on. Did you want to say anything else? Go on, sorry.
No, I was just saying England fans will annoy me as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Over the Euros and the World Cup. So, yeah.
What more do you need to know than England fans annoying other England fans? That's all you need to know, really. But yeah, check out Dharmz's Twitter. Link is down in the description, and you can see it on screen as well. Like I say, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button on your way out. And we'll be back, of course, tomorrow with, not all of you, but I still think the majority of you being Chelsea fans. We'll be back tomorrow with our live reaction and player ratings live stream following the Chelsea versus Brighton game tomorrow afternoon. So thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea, upwards and onwards, and we'll see you. Well, up to Austria, upwards and onwards, and we'll see you next time.